Hi, I'm Al Pearson, and at Pearson Farm we grow peaches and pecans, but we also shell pecans. And this is our shelling facility where we bring the nuts that we have harvested and cleaned at the farm, and we bring them here and crack them and shell them and sort them and get them ready for them to be eaten, which is where you come in. But this shelling process begins. We soak the nuts for about an hour so we can soften the shell and soften the meat that's on the inside a little bit, because the cracking process, if you crack nuts that are too dry, it breaks them into a lot of small pieces. So we take them and soak them for about an hour and then let the surface water drain off of them. And then we bring them in and run them through the cracker. The cracker is the first process, and we can crack about 600 nuts a minute. And all it does is a couple of hammers almost hit the nut, but they don't crush it, they just crack it. And then we send that cracked nut through a sheller. The sheller is a rotating tumbler, and it tumbles the nuts, and it tumbles the shell, most of the shell, off the nuts. And we take that product, which is a mixture of meat and shell, into a sizer. And the sizer has vibrating pans of different size holes, and the larger nuts are separated out, the larger pieces, and they come over to the side and go down into one vat, and then the smaller nuts, the smaller pieces, come out further down the line, and they're separated into different hoppers. The hoppers then go into an air leg, to where we use the force of air to separate the light product from the heavy product. The pecan is typically heavier, the pecan meat is typically heavier than the shell. And so that blows the shell out and deposits the meat into a container to where we further process it. After we have gotten it into those containers, the moisture content in the nut is too high. And so we need to dry those nuts, and we put them on dryers with a little bit of heat, about 100 degrees, and we, according to the humidity or how wet the nuts are or our experience, we know how long to dry them, to get them down to a moisture level that the nut will hold. If you put nuts that are too wet in enclosed containers, such as a cellophane bag or even a box, then they will mold or mildew. So you must get that moisture out of the nut before you can further process it. Then we'll take that dried nut inside, and we hand grade that, pulling out darker meat, pieces of shell, anything that shouldn't be there. And at the end of that process, we've got a tub of perfect pecan halves. And that's really what we're looking for. From there, we will take those and put them into a 30-pound bulk box, or we will run them through a bagging operation and bag them into 1-pound bags for sale by some people that buy our peaches, and grocery stores and different places that need good pecans. We shell a lot of Elliott pecans, which are very small, but have a real strong nut flavor, and that's the nut that we shell the most of, and that's the nut we really like to use in our mail order business and our retail business, because frankly it's our favorite. We also shell desirables and some slides, but Elliott is our favorite. So that's kind of the shelling process, and it's a lot different from growing pecans. There are a lot of real small adjustments that you have to make in order to get halves and not pieces, in order to get good golden pecan kernels and get them ready for market.